They went pretty much as planned today, which is a blessing. Once again, the state of Alabama was a priority for us. We signed 10 players from the state of Alabama, 6 from the state of Georgia, and 4 from Florida. And those are our 3 states that we make our living in. So real pleased with that. Signed 11 on offense. Just offensive tackles was kind of our priority. The 2 guys that we wanted from the get-go we got. Two quarterbacks was definitely a priority, and then 2 tight ends. Defensively, we signed 10 players. Defensive backs, we signed 4, 3 linebackers, and we wanted a pass rusher to replace Carl Lawson, and then we had 2 specialists. Just real briefly, just the early enrollees, I've talked about some of them briefly before. Malcolm Askew, a defensive back, a very talented young man that can run. He's got a very good skill set. He played offense in high school, too, with very good ball skills. Nick Brahms, a lineman, a center, guard, very tough type guy that brings a physical presence. I think he's got a chance to be a very good player. K.J. Britt, an inside linebacker, a true inside linebacker that plays downhill. He really provides a physical presence. He's got the ability to make the people around him better. Sal Cannella is a guy that we really felt like had great ball skills, can stretch the field. We needed some depth at tight end, so he really fit that need. Jarrett Stidham, talked about him before. I think he's got a chance to be a very good football player. He's coming in to competing for the starting job. Malik Willis is a guy that has only played quarterback for really just a little over a year. And we really felt like as a staff that if this guy would have been playing quarterback for 2 to 3 years, he'd be one of the top in the country. He reminds me a little bit of Nick Marshall with the way he runs and the way he throws the football. Chandler Wooten is a guy that we identified over a year ago about being one of the better linebackers we felt like in all the country. A long guy that can run, gives us a lot of versatility. And then, of course, the signees today, starting with Calvin Ashley, the first fax in. Calvin is a guy that we feel like can come in immediately and have a chance to compete. Really reminds me a lot of Greg Robinson when Greg was this age. Thing about Calvin, he stayed extremely loyal to us. He's a 5-star guy. He was very solid, and we really appreciate him and really looking forward to coaching him. John Schenker is a guy that is a tight end. He reminds me of Philip Lutzenkirchen. He's about the same size. His ball skills are very good. He can put his hand down. He can block. He does a lot of H-back stuff that we do in our offense. So very excited about his versatility. And then Noah, and then I'm just going to start calling him Iggy, okay? So I don't know exactly how to pronounce that last name, so it's Noah Iggy, okay? Noah is a guy that is a wide receiver. He played a wide receiver and running back for his high school, a dynamic guy. We think he's got unbelievable upside, extremely fast. Both his parents ran track in the Olympics. And he's a young guy, too, as far as age goes. We really think his upside's really big. Austin Troxell is a guy that we identified a long time ago as being one of the better offensive tackles in the country. We've recruited him for almost 3 years. Great family, and we think he's got a chance to be a very good player. Alaric Williams, another guy that's been very loyal to us, committed to us for a long time, a running back. Slot receiver, gives us a lot of flexibility and versatility to utilize him. Tyrone Truesdale's a big athletic guy. He came to our Big Cat weekend over the summer. We kept up with him. We brought him in this last weekend and just feel like he's got great upside, and he can really run. He's got very good instincts, and I think he's going to be a very good player. Devin Barrett, running back, he was the #1 running back on our board from the get-go. He was the one that we wanted. He's got a great vision. He's got great speed. He's got the ability to take it 80 on any given play. He can stretch the field down the field as far as catching the football. I really think he's got a chance to come in here and compete right off the bat. Very excited about Devin. Jordan Peters, a defensive back, has the ability to play safety or corner. He's long. I think he's going to even grow and get bigger. He's a very good tackler, a very physical guy. Very excited about Jordan and think he's got a chance to be an outstanding player. T.D. Moultrie, think about T.D. He's one of the best players, if not the best player in the state. He's a 5-star guy. He took no other visits. He was extremely loyal to us. He helped us recruit. He's got a unique skill set. I mean, he's got an explosiveness that very few have. Playing inside linebacker, he's got the ability to rush the passer. He played in some of these all-star games and really was the best player on the field in the all-star games. We're very excited about TD. We think he can come in here and help right off the bat. Anders Carlson's Daniel's brother, #1 kicker in the country. I think there's so many similarities. Very excited to have them. I know he's excited to play with his brother. And, Daniel's the best kicker in college football. I think everybody knows that, and we think Anders has a chance to follow in his footsteps and be one of the best, too. Alec Jackson, a defensive lineman from Jeff Davis, very athletic, very athletic. He's got a frame that he's even going to grow and get bigger. He's a very smart young man. We really think he's got a chance to really help us. Then Trey Leonard, a defensive back from West Palm Beach, a guy that's been on campus a few times and just really connected. And we just felt like he was an Auburn-type guy. Really watched him. He was committed to another school for a while, and he came on board with us. And we think he's got a very good skill set. He can run. He's long. He's a very good tackler. And he's kind of one of those mature guys. I think you'll have a chance to come here and help right off the bat, too. Carlito Gonzalez is a safety. He's your prototypical safety. He's very physical. He can run. He's got a nose for the ball. He plays fearless. He's been very loyal to us, too. He's been through 3 defensive back coaches, and he didn't flinch. He stayed with us, so very excited about Carlito. Jatarvius Whitlow is a guy that really has been on my mind for a while. He came to camp this summer, just had an outstanding camp. The defensive coaches were kind of looking at him as safety, and the offensive coaches looking at him as an athlete, receiver type. And then when Chip got here, we pulled up the film again. Not just his game film, but the film from this summer at camp, and just felt like we needed him to be a part of our offense. He's got a very good skill set. He's got very good ball skills, and we're going to play him at wide receiver starting out. Bill Taylor, a long snapper. He's a big long snapper, a big physical guy that can tackle. And when you can find a guy that, can snap it consistently and accurately and tackle, they're hard to find. We're very excited about Bill. And then, of course, our last one was Big Cat Bryant. And Big Cat's a guy that we've circled in, we've recruited for a long time. He's Montravius Adams' cousin. He is a pass rushing machine. He's an Auburn-type kid. With a great family and great support system, and just excited for him. But overall, I look at this class, very athletic, a lot of character. The academics is very important to them, and so I'm very excited about this. And I'll just say our staff just did a super job developing relationships, identifying talented kids that have great character. And so we got guys that can really come in here and help us right off the bat. So I'm extremely excited to have this class signed and here. All right, questions?
You guys mentioned the footprint of this class, and it wasn't the 3 states you always emphasized predominantly, but it's doubled the number of in-state players from last year. Was recruiting the state in particular a major emphasis?
Yeah, there's no doubt, and it has been since I've been here, and we've really tried to start in our state. We think there's some great players. The coaching here is just unbelievable, and so we signing 10, I think, is very good, and very excited about it.
How difficult does it make it when you're talking about that footprint again, and you got Kirby Smart recruiting at a high level there, and of course David here? You're in a challenging spot.
Yeah.
How difficult is that?
Well, I tell you, Auburn's a great place. It's a special place. And the guys that fit at Auburn, they know it right off the bat. We're a relationship staff, a relationship school. And if we can develop long-term relationships with guys and people that football's important to, academics is important to, getting prepared for life, they fit here at Auburn. So it's just a matter of identifying those type guys and developing long-term relationships, and we think we can compete with anybody on the recruiting trail.
Because pass rush has always been important.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like now more than ever.
Yeah.
After quarterback. Talk about the importance then of Big Cat and TD.
Yeah.
Guys like that can fit in.
Well, I think you just said it. I mean, Big Cat is a pass rusher. There's no doubt, and Coach Garner did a super job of recruiting Big Cat. TD, he's got the ability to rush the passer, and he showed that in the All-Star games. And, you know, Travis Williams did a super job recruiting him. So, you know, those two, and I think Chandler Wooten's a guy, too, that can rush the passer. So, you know, that's the name of the game. You know, if you can rush the passer by just rushing forward and not having to blitz, you know, that's where great defenses start.
Yes, can you talk about your running backs? You got a couple big, athletic guys who might be pretty good receivers too.
Yeah, and we looked for that versatility, guys that were bigger, that could run, that could catch the ball out of the backfield, and you know, both these running backs that we have are 200-pound type guys. They both can run. They both have very good ball skills.
What was with the decision to take 2 tight ends?
Well, really, we only had one tight end on scholarship was really the thing. So we felt like we needed, you know, 2 tight ends, and you know, Coach Lindsey likes to use a tight end, and you know, we're going to throw the ball to more of the tight end. So, you know, that was kind of the thinking behind that.
It had been an underutilized position in your offense historically, Gus. Is Chip, because historically he had used Philip obviously at the high school level, predominantly. Is he going to bring something very different to that, utilizing the tight end position more, just because, again, historically, I mean, CJ's in the NFL, but he really didn't catch very much here. So is the tight end position going
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, I'll take you back. I mean, CJ and Phillip here was pretty good, you know, at tight end. Charles Clay played for us at Tulsa, but Chip is a guy that definitely is going to utilize the tight end, and you know, he is very strong in the RPO world. He's very strong in the straight drop back world, and that was kind of the complement to our run game, you know, that he's going to bring. So I would definitely expect more balls to the tight end.
Sorry, is everybody, you plan to qualify, is everybody going to qualify?
We're planning on everybody qualifying. I think everybody has the last 3 or 4 years. So it kind of goes back to, you know, our coaches doing a good job of identifying the guys that have great character and everything that goes with it.
You mentioned the job that Rodney was able to do with Marcavius. Another year, another strong finish from Rodney as a recruiter. What does it say for him to be able to close strong yet again, getting him in?
Well, I mean, I think it says he's one of the best defensive line coaches in all of college football, if not the best, with his track record. And he's a great recruiter. And the reason he's a great recruiter is he works with honesty, integrity. He develops relationships, and he's very consistent. And you know, he's one of the best in the country.
Shinker, how different is it having a player that, I mean, he's probably got more versatility in those spots than anybody you guys have.
You're exactly right. His versatility is what stood out to us, and of course we kept up with him throughout the year. And then when Chip got here, that was the first guy he went to see, and he reminds me of Phillip, and he's got that same kind of skill set that you can split him out, you can put his hand down, you can put him at H-back, and he's physical enough at the point of attack, you know, to be effective too.
What was it about Whitlow that caused Lindsey to kind of say, "Why we need to get this guy on offense"?
Yeah, well, first of all, he's an outstanding athlete. He's a good character person. Like I said, when guys come to camp, sometimes you just kind of get a feel. And so he was on my radar after camp, you know, really all year. And so it's just really a matter of trying to figure out where he fits. And when Chip got here, you know, we kind of looked at our whole board and what we have and all that, what we need to go after. And so he just fit. And he's got a lot of a playmaking ability. He's a big, strong guy that has a lot of athletic ability. And he's just right down the road.
Goes back to Shinker. Well, does that versatility, I mean, is that a point of emphasis, finding somebody to where you can keep guys on the field?
Yeah, there's no doubt, and that's a good point. You know, trying to keep the same 11 on the field, you know, and try to utilize all the formations is definitely what we're looking for.
Gus, on your offensive tackles or offensive linemen, you know, you mentioned Calvin. Even if he doesn't get here till August, do you think he can come in and compete for?
Well, you know, he'll be here in May. Okay. And so, yes, you know, I look back at Greg Robinson, and you know, Greg was in a similar situation, and, you know, you think you do the right thing by redshirting, and he was here for 2 years, and he was the second pick in the draft. So you look at each individual different, but Calvin right now has a very similar skill set and in a very similar spot as Big Greg was.
And the other two suffered injuries this past fall.
Mhm.
Are you confident that they can get back to where they
You know, I like to think so. I mean, the rehab's going very good with both of them. And I think both of them will be ready to go, once they get here in the summer. Of course, obviously, Nick's already here, but I think he'll be ready to go in the summer, and Trox will be ready to go in the summer. So, expecting both of them, to be ready.
Speaking on Troxel, Coach, just explain his ability, his size, and his mentality being former teammates Kieran Johnson and Leek Miller that,
Yeah.
coming from Madison Academy. Just talk about what he can do for your team offensively.
Yeah, and I'm going to, make sure and say something about Coach Horton, too. He's one of our most consistent recruiters and just does a great job developing relationships. And that's a third player out of Madison Academy, and that's a very good school. And, Trox is a guy that's very physical. He's got that physical mentality. And he's very athletic. He can bend. He can finish. We think he's got a chance to be a very good player.
So Ashley, talking about Greg Robinson and only having him 2 years, for a guy like that that's so physically gifted, does it make you lean more towards kind of throwing him in there, even if he's not a starter, just so you can go?
Yeah, I think from a coach standpoint, you kind of learn through each process. So, my mindset, is, he's going to come in here and compete, and we'll see what happens. I think that's what he wants to do. As a matter of fact, I know that's what he wants to do. So, he'll come in, and we'll let him compete, and we'll see what happens.
Coach Hammond said he wanted to sign 5 to 6 guys on the offensive line this time around. How do you feel you guys did overall?
Well, I think we got 3 guys that are very, very talented guys. And then Rodarius is another guy that, that will be with this class. And, I'm really looking forward to him participating in the spring and expect him to be ready to go. So really, that's kind of 4. And, we'll see what the next class, goes. But I feel good about where we're at offensive line as a whole.
Because last year you had only the one linebacker signing in Trey. This year you get 3, potentially 4, I guess, depending on how you look at Big Cat as a buck. That's going to tie for the most you've had linebacker-wise during your head coaching
Yeah.
tenure here. Just how much of a point of emphasis was that position, particularly after last year only getting the 1?
Yeah, it was definitely a point of emphasis. You think about linebackers and safeties, and most of those guys play special teams, and so that definitely helps with your special teams too. But the fact that we've got some quality depth at linebacker, plus we got these 3 guys coming in, and Travis had an excellent year with our linebackers, on the field and recruiting, so it's good.
You mentioned not having a lot of drama today. Is that kind of nice on a day like today, or it just becomes a bigger circus every year?
Yeah, it is. When you go to bed last night and you look, and the guys have been committed, felt as good as you can, and anytime you develop long-term relationships, it makes you sleep better at night. And so it went exactly as expected, and there was, a couple that obviously that signed today, but there wasn't a lot of drama. But like I said, that says a lot about the class that we're signing, the type of people they are.
Would you sort of maybe give us some updates on how it went with Martavis Bryant today, recruiting him last night,
Yeah.
and today you and Rodney talking to him,
Mhm.
just how that went about finally getting that commitment?
Well, every time he's been on campus, you could tell he fit here, and it was a great feel. And, with talking to him, we always felt like we had a good chance. And, last night we felt like that he was coming here, and this morning felt the same. So, he's a big-time player, and he's got a chance to really be a special player.
When did you know for sure, though? When did he tell you he was coming?
It was today.
Gus, we see the excitement though in the room. What's it like though when you put that much time and effort
Yeah.
into it to see it kind of go your way?
Yeah, you fight hard. The guys that aren't committed, you go down to signing day, and especially with our need for a pass rusher, that was really extra special, big for us as a staff, and so it was big. It was kind of the icing on the cake to this class. The last one to send his stuff in and commit. So it was a good end to a good day.
Yes, when you were originally hired, you said that you didn't want to rely too much on junior college ranks. You've had classes with 6 guys, 5 guys at
Mhm.
JUCOs. Last 2 years only have 2, and this year Jared was in JUCO being
Yeah.
play. Is that kind of a product of being around now for 3 and 4 years that you're starting to get away? Is it purposeful?
Here's what I would say. That this is the 4th or 5th class. So we're starting to get more stable. Our program, as far as depth-wise, we're starting to develop the depth through high school players. You know, anytime you take a junior college player, you know, you feel like you have a need and you bring them in, they compete for a spot. But that really has more to do with it than anything, that just the stability of our program. And really, if you look, when I say a well-rounded class, I think it also talks about the depth that we have on our current team. There's not a whole lot of areas that we're desperate to have guys to have to come in and play immediately. Now, a lot of these guys will play, but I think it just kind of speaks to where we're at from a depth standpoint and a program standpoint.
Is there any concern about that you didn't sign any interior defensive linemen?
Well, you know, we got Truesdale, and Alec. Those are the two guys that will play inside. So, you know, we lose 4 seniors, and we signed 3, 2 inside and one edge guy. And we got a couple of these linebackers, you know, that are capable of rushing the passer too. So that was more by design. You know, we're hoping, and you know, I'll tell everybody the day or two before spring ball, but I'm hoping both those guys will be able to go through spring. They're off to a good start right now. Both of the guys are very athletic and feel like they can help us, but I'll give you an update probably a couple of days before spring. But right now, I would like them to go through it.
Coach, you've always talked about how important it is for you to have a dominant kicking team. Now you have Daniel's younger brother Anders, who have a lot of similarities. What does that do for you in your ability to know that even years on the road, you can still have confidence in your kicker?
No, it changes everything. I mean, when you've got a kicker and they're dominant like Daniel is, I mean, it just changes everything, the way you approach coaching the game. And, you know, his brother, we think, is, you know, has the same kind of talent. And so it's real exciting, you know, as far as that goes.
Alex Madeira indicated he's going to be a walk-on. I know even in that capacity, just with that relationship that Herb has, just how meaningful was it for him, particularly, to be able to do that? I'm sure it was pretty emotional.
Who's that? Yeah. As far as the history goes with Herb, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, you know, his dad was part of, you know, having the emergency surgery and helping him and saving his life.
Anything else? Sean, I guess in the show today, Sean kind of indicated that, you know, it's his goal to be ready to go in the spring. What's your optimism on that right now?
Well, I mean, I like the fact he has that goal, and things are going a little faster, you know, healing better than original thoughts. So, you know, like I said, I probably can answer that a little bit better. We get a couple days before spring, but I do like his mindset.